or g'day viewers, as I usually say. We just finished telling someone last minute changes are not a good idea, and there I go and change it. Anyway, today we're talking about the London to Brighton route, and I've got it up here on Google Maps on the screen. In the disembodied voice in the chat today, as usual, is Michael from Canada. Hello, Michael. He'll respond in about now. Or he won't. And I'll just tell my phone to stop making noises because that's rude. Hopefully he can actually hear me. Hopefully this is going out on stream. Hello. Aha, there he is. Oh, I must have it on 20-second delay, not 4-second delay. Okay, that makes sense. All right. But anyway, we're talking about the route from Victoria, London down to Brighton. I was initially thinking, excuse me, what a way to start. I was initially thinking that this actually isn't that big a route. And then I looked at it on maps and, well, no, it kind of is, because, you know, it's a bit of a percentage of the UK. So it's an interesting one. And the other thing I find vaguely amusing is that if we just pop down through the map here, Victoria, which is the name of the state I live in, you can't half tell that this place was once settled by the English. Mitcham is a suburb that's not that far from me, probably, I don't know, 20 kilometres. Croydon's probably 25. We don't have Chatterham, but we've got Chatham. Red Hills just down the coast from here. Three Bridges exists. Horsham exists. What else have we got? South Water, but we won't go there. Brighton exists. That's just up the road from here, in fact, because I live near the beach, and Brighton is also near the beach. It's probably about 10 kilometres, 15 kilometres, something like that. So it's just amusing how all of these names have persisted into our area, giving us some of the settlement heritage. Anyway, on to the route itself. So first thing I want to have a chat about, and he's hoping it actually works today. Well, it looks like it's going to, because it died yesterday when I was trying to put my notes together for the stream. But it seems to be back, which is good. And that's the mastery. Oh, I hope it's back. This is taking a very long time. Aha! Okay, so I managed to finish the mastery yesterday in a little bit of a rush, because the first half of my day was devoted to fixing my monitor, because I did something really, really, really dumb. And just a word of caution. If you have an OLED monitor, treat it like an old plasma screen and don't leave fixed images on it too long, because I learnt that the hard way yesterday. I left TSW2 running. Note, I'm not saying the game did this. The game does do some freaky flickery things and strange frame rates, but that's beside the issue with this. And what happened was that bright orange menu burnt into my screen, and I found an OLED clearing video on YouTube that I ran for about 5 hours or so, and that's mostly done the trick. There's still just a slight ghost of it, so I'll probably run it again after this stream finishes. So to get the mastery, tier 1's easily enough. You have to drive 15 miles or 24 kilometres. I'm not sure if that translates, actually, 15 to 24. I'm not sure if they're exactly the same. But anyway, we'll just leave that alone. And the daily commute, you have to run 2 scenarios, so you get that pretty quickly. In fact, I think in your training actually counts for the 2 scenarios. And then you have to complete 3 timetables. And by completing them means getting to the end and getting a medal. As I discovered, if you get to the end and don't get a medal, because you stuffed it up, it doesn't count. And then you have to do one where you go over 85 mile an hour, but not exceed 90 mile an hour, which sounds relatively easy, except the only place you can do it is downhill. So you have to be a little bit careful, because I discovered that sitting on 85 isn't enough. You actually have to go to 86 for it to register and sit there for a few seconds, and you've got to look after your speed. But we've got the mastery, and I'll show you what that gives you. So, exciting stuff. You got stuff in the livery editor. I don't really use the livery editor very much because my artistic skills with digital arts are, well, apart from photography, which is kind of how I make money, but kind of zero. So I don't use the livery editor very much. And Battersea Power Station changes to be lit up. So we'll see that in one of the routes that I'm going to run, or one of the services, I should say, that we're going to run. I've tried to pick some that are interesting. We're going to run 3 today, and we'll see where we go with those. If my mouse goes a little bit weird today,
Cool.
if my mouse, I think you like the Rainbow Power Station there, Michael. If my mouse goes a little bit weird today, I'm breaking in a new larger trackball, and it's taking a bit of getting used to. I had a little one. As everybody who gets later in life, might start to get a little bit challenging to use, and I switched to a trackball, and it's an interesting experience. But anyway, we'll get there. Now, I have to say that visually this route is really, 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 really nice, but and the trains are good, not amazing, good. I'm happy. I'm happy with the cash. So let's go and have a look at what's in this thing anyway. So timetable wise, we get the 166. It's got, I think there's 2 freight services that run. They didn't make this thing rail driver compatible, which is a bit sad. It does have alternative liveries by the look of it. Let's have a look. Are they actually different? I can't tell. But anyway, let's go back a level. We've got the 377, which is new. Or 377-4, I should say. They've got the Class 166 running a couple of services, but again, they didn't bring rail driver into this thing. They reckon they changed its sound. Maybe. But if they did that, why didn't they bring in rail driver? But anyway. The 3872, the Gatwick Express, that's also new to this one. This one, the graphics I really like. I love that the front's covered in dead bugs. It's just kind of appropriate. It's probably dead bugs and seagull poop. And we've got the 375, which looks amazingly like the thing running on Cathcart, except that it's Southern, not Scots. All right, so we're actually going to run a 375 first up. So we're just going to run a nice short express one. And what weather did I want to set up for this? Oh, it's too late to set up weather. That's okay. We'll just do the run, and we're going to run 1Z66. And I'm going to run the same one I did yesterday. Oh, that's interesting. It's there once with a medal, and the same number is later in the day. Wonder how that works. Maybe the same number goes back and forth several times. But anyway, we're going to run the one I ran yesterday because I don't want to tempt fate. We are going to tempt fate on the third one. I'm going to run one that I haven't run, and it's quite a longer running one, and it's longer than all the other services in the same thing, and I'm kind of curious why. So I'm going to run it and find out, because I'm either brave or stupid, one or the other. We shall find out which. And good morning to the viewers that are around today. So Class 375 SEB, and it weighs about 350 tonnes, and it's got 8 carriages. And we're going from Redhill to East Croydon. Now let's
stick with brave.
Stick with brave, you reckon? Let's get the master key in. Let's jiggle the lever so that goes into forward, and doors are on the left-hand side. So let's get our doors open. Of course, it goes to the other side. Doors are open. Good. So now we want to go and set up some safety systems, which means we have to come over here. This one's these 3, I think, from memory. DSD. So I turned on the vigilance, which is the thing that keeps you awake, and DSD, which stops you standing up, and AWS, which stops you running signals. Just reset that. We've got a green signal up there, so I don't need to set the DRA. We do need to do headlights. So the rail driver stuff's working quite nicely for headlights and things. Most of the time you don't have to touch the power in these services. It's already set up for you. Now I've changed my graphics a little bit from last week. I'm now running at 180%, and my frame rate is suffering a little. I'm sitting on about 40, but I've kind of decided being able to read signs when you're trying to drive HUDless is probably a little bit more important than having beautiful frame rates. Oh, it's time to go. Let's just pop outside. Horn's not too bad, a little bit of looping in it. Brakes coming off, and off we go. And I'll try not to trip the TPWS, because it really does make you wait the 2 minutes if you do it. I think from memory we're in a 60-mile-an-hour zone here. Once we get out of the station anyway. It's 30 until we get through these points. So I'm enjoying the route. I haven't experienced the crashing issues. We're just coming up to 75 now when the back of a train passes that sign. I haven't experienced the crashing issues that people on consoles seem to be experiencing. I had it exit to desktop once when it installed. The first time I ran it, it went poof. But since then it's been fine. And my guess is it was probably still installing stuff. Alright, we can crank up the power now. We're allowed to do 80 once that sign reaches the back of our train. It'll be down here somewhere. The scenery is pretty good. Let's just fly up in the air and have a bit of a look. So it looks quite nice. I know I'm not paying attention to my train because I'm evil. Trees are the usual trees. I think they're called super trees or something like that, that they've imported from somewhere. Frame rate wise, it's doing okay. Just passing a 90 sign here, heading on our way to East Croydon. So looks wise it's kind of cool. I'd love to have a bit more variety that actually works with Rail-Driver. So I'm actually looking forward to the 166 getting Rail-Driver because that looks like an interesting little train. It looks kind of like a...
At least with frame rate, it's better than Dresden.
I'm finding about the same as Dresden on the frame rate for me. Now I'm running a ridiculous i9 and a... That's the Vigilance. And an RTX 3080 card. I worked them pretty hard. So they're both fully occupied playing this game. And streaming. Because I'm one of those silly people that uses the same computer to do both. Because I don't want to run another one. But no, I find it about the same. There's some areas in this one where we do drop down into the mid-20s, which is always a little bit disturbing when that happens. The new lighting in the tunnel, you're getting there, Dovetail. You're getting there. Not quite there, but you're getting there. I like this. This is better. Being able to see a little bit of detail in here. And you can pop out of the tunnel, pop out of the train in the tunnel, so that has taken effect. There's our Vigilance again. So that's nice. How fast are we going? Ooh, we are speeding a tad. 95 miles an hour. No one saw a thing. It's not as though it's on the internet or anything. The bridges and things, the little villages, look quite nice. A little bit repetitive, but looking on maps, I saw that the real thing is a little bit repetitive, so that's not too unusual. Michael's just caught up with my 95 thing. We're still doing 95. In fact, it's time to start braking. This thing does brake very nicely, but you've got to be really careful when using the Rail-Driver that you don't end up in emergency. Because once you put it in an emergency, it takes over and you stop. There's no just slowing down. There we go. That gets us to the right speed. Brakes come off really quickly. You do see heaps of trains in this route. Very happy with that. There's a lot of traffic. I think this route has probably reached the levels that you saw in nicely built scenarios in TS. I think they finally got there. And the game handles it nicely enough on PC. Not sure if it handles it quite so nicely on consoles. So while we're cruising along here, we have to come down to this speed here because of the curves. Let's let these people know that we're coming. And there's people on the wrong side of the yellow line. Let's scare them. And we're allowed back up to 80 mile an hour now. Will be when the back of the train gets there anyway. Now, we had one new subscriber this week. Welcome, Richard. And we had some quite prolific commentary from Pinguini Ananda, and that's with an N, not an M. That's the second person I've met with the name Ananda. Scenario 7, Tim, Anthony, and Connie. Comes another train down here on our left. We'll drive one of those a little bit later on. And that was TPWS warning me of the speed zone change. So let's just come down to 60. And it's a little bit variable whether it warns you or not for speed zone changes. Sometimes they just seem to happen. So this will get us down to 60 before we get to where we have to do it. So it's an enjoyable drive. Now that we're in the station, straight back up to 80 again. I'm guessing the Gatwick trains must cost more because the stations are separated down the centre by a fence. So I'm guessing they don't want you to pay for a normal service and then jump on the Gatwick Express to get to Brighton. Behind the yellow line, people. Am I speeding again? 1.9 miles to go, so we'll start slowing down anyway. Because soon enough we'll be made to. So these little express runs, they're nice, sharp, short little services. You could play a lot of them in a day if you wanted to, just going shuttling back and forth. A bit like reality. You get to see the city, but you never quite get there on this one. Running through the available street view, the stations seem to be relatively reasonably modelled. I've got a yellow signal coming up. Now the alert button does work on the rail driver, but it's a bit slow. 45, better slow down. And I think I've got a 30 coming up too, actually. You see the Q key is a lot quicker than the rail driver. Now, something I've noticed that I'm not completely sure about, I'm going to say it anyway and see what other people think. It seems to me that you don't always come into the same platform when you're running services. So I think maybe it's being a little bit more dynamic. Red coming up. Acknowledge that. The British safety systems are a lot easier than the German or American ones. Now that I've said that, it will attack me, you watch. Alright, so we are here, opening doors. And this is our last stop of this service, so let's just wander around the station with the 8 while we can. Don't know what happens if you're in a train and it leaves when you've got the 8 on. I can't go in there. Can I go through the wall? So if this train left and I'm in the 8 camera, I wonder what happens. We're almost tempted to find out. But it's a fairly cool station. We're about to get chucked out. It's worth an explore. Now, just out of interest, I've got all of my mods off, and I know they've been bringing in some community mods, and I reckon one of the ones they've brought in is on the signals, because it makes them look so much better. And I've noticed the signals on this route look just like the ones in the mod. So I think they might have brought it in. Anyway, let's jump out of our menu now. So that's that train out of the way. We're going to move now to the 377. So back into Explore and back into Timetable. This time I want to go into... let's just get rid of that noisy thing first. And we want to go to April, where it's cold but not snowy, and we want a little bit of light rain. Something else I've noticed that's dynamic is that... oh, come on. Wind strength, there we go. Is in scenarios, the weather changes, which I quite like. Now, this one, 2K62, we're going to play. I've tried to find some that are a bit interesting. I haven't found any yet that couple up to other services. I know there are some, but I haven't found any. I haven't found anybody posting on the forums about which ones they've found either. Normally there's people quite diligent about posting really interesting services on the forums, but it's been a little quiet. And looking through the forum posts, it seems to happen mostly for American and German routes, so maybe the people with the English routes don't get into that so much. The forums I'm referring to are, of course, the Dovetail forums. So similar to before, master key, get it into forwards. Doors are on our right this time, so open the doors. And let's go and turn on some safety systems. I do like that you're not rushed. I think these ones, it's the same switches. The next one's different switches. Jump back in the chair and acknowledge. And night running headlights would be about right. We don't need any wipers or anything. And we're going to be sitting here until 6 past. So a bit of a look around. Welcome to London, Victoria. There are a lot of trains here. So with this many trains, yeah, frame rate's sitting on 32, 33. Is that my vigilance going off? Or is it someone else's vigilance going off? It shouldn't be mine. But anyway, we have got a red light up there, so I really should have DRA on, but I know it's going to go green. Alright. Brakes off and off we go.
Someone's door's closing.
Yeah, I think so. Someone else's train. So you can see there's an awful lot of stuff moving. Even at this, what's 7:06 at night? 7? Yeah. No, 9. 9:06 at night. What am I doing? There's still a lot of stuff moving. It's probably his door's closing. He's going to Dartford, apparently. Just keep my speed down because it's 20 through here. Says he doing 21. Good start. And we'll be out of the train shortly. Lots of other stuff moving. Now this makes it alive, so this is nice to have. Hit my head on a bridge. And there's the big flashy power station. So the next signal is green, so I'll just leave the train... Oops, I'm going the wrong way. I'll leave the train to look after itself a little bit. And hopefully the vigilance doesn't go off. And come and look at the power station. It's kind of cool. So this was a coal smoke belching thing in its day. And these days, you can set the vigilance from outside the train. That's cool. These days, it's turning into apartments rather than being knocked down. Which, from a heritage perspective, is kind of cool. We need to see how long the bloody corporate wants to maintain those towers, though. Anyway, let's get back into our train. So that's a nice feature, a little bit more animation for a mastery thing. Yeah, and we've stopped. And in fact, we're going backwards. That must be uphill. Glad we came back. Otherwise, we would have popped back in and gone, hey, wow, it's in back in London, Victoria again. Probably would have spattered. Nice and windy. Oh, train, you can do this.
It's back in the station.
It almost would be. There we go. We're finally getting some speed up. Welcome to the person who joined then. We're just driving past Battersea Park, which is outside Battersea Power Station. I'm just showing off the mastery reward for this route is that the power station lights up in rainbow colours, which we're just seeing here. We've gotten up to our allowed speed. Night modelling's quite nice. I actually think this is probably a little bit better than Dresden, to be honest. This thing's brakes are good, but I wasn't paying a lot of attention. Let's see if they're this good. Oh, you know what? They are this good. Even after stopping to look at the power station, I'm almost on time. Sure, I pressed that button. That's okay, as they say. So we're in an older station here, Battersea Park Power Station. Which I get the inclination from the streams, from DTG's streams, is that it was called Battersea Power Station at one point, and is now called Battersea Park. Alright then, so we are about 20 seconds late, so let's make up some time. I don't actually know if English trains honk when they leave platforms, but, you know, I'll just do it. Because I can. Yes, the LED signals look quite nice too. You can see the individual LEDs. Quite nice modelling of the surrounds. And it looks nice at night. They did say in DTG streams they didn't go the Dresden approach with the lighting. And to be honest with you, kind of glad, because I kind of like this better. This is more white lighting, not so much the orange tungsten stuff. Orange tungsten used to be a thing, but with modern LED street lighting, not so much. It is a bit bright in the cab though at night time. That's not with the cab light on, because if I turn that on it gets brighter. It's interesting it gave me a reward for using the cab light then. I'm pretty sure I've used it before. So this train is very quiet. Probably a bit too quiet, I guess. There's their giant billboard. With the inspirational saying, "Make today so awesome that yesterday is jealous." I meant to do 20 into here, apparently. Naughty me. I'm going to be back with the manager again today. In trouble again. Be my turn to buy the tea and biscuits.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Mind the gap.
Little fan's a nice touch. Interestingly, I think that's what you can hear rather than train noises. Oh, something coming in on our right over there somewhere. Somewhere. Not that we can see it. Oh, there it is, all the way over there. Ah, that was an HST. How about that? Got 30 seconds. Oops, wrong way. There it is. That's as far as I can go, apparently. Alright, it's time to start closing doors anyway. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, your driver got distracted and ran off chasing a train. The brightness in this cab comes from in there. So the wall is transparent to light. Back up to 60. So I don't mind running this one at night. You can see just enough. I wish the cab was darker, but we'll live. And you can sort of make it a little bit better if you zoom in on the window. But then you're dependent on being careful with your speed. Or you have a... No, it's not a yellow for me. Mine's green. Coming into Wandsworth Common. Hello, Wandsworth Common. Another older station with some modern contrivances on it. See, in America, that little signal tower with ladders would be surrounded by cones. Alright, let's go down the back this time. Doors opening. Lots of people immediately come out of work and jump into your train. Now notice with the timetable, even though we left late before, we arrived just before time, which is quite good. I think that guy just walked through a fence, but that's okay. Maybe there's a gate there. Yellow signal. You can see the AWS there reminding me that I had an adverse signal and that I should behave myself. Coming up on Balham. I don't know if you can hear the elephant on the stairs, but it's kind of funny to me that the more my family try to be quiet on the stairs when I stream, the louder they get. It's just funny, but they try. AWS reminding me of the red. That's very fast coming up. The stopping point is fairly close to the red, but not uncomfortable. Just roll up a little bit more. We got oodles of time to stay on the timetable. So I'll get the doors open, but I'll also set the DRA just to so I remind myself to not drive off. In fact, I didn't press the doors open button hard enough, obviously. Or the thing thought it hadn't stopped yet, one or the other. So stopping on the stopping point, it looks like some of my train's outside the platform. Because I stopped in pretty much the right place then. That door's on the ramp. That would hurt. That's the end of our run. That explains why it's red. Okay, nice short run. And I must have done better than last time because I got a medal. Alright then, now we're going to go on to our third service for this particular stream, and we're doing quite well for time, which is a good thing because the next one is apparently a bit of a longie. We're going to do one of the Gatwick ones, one of the red ones. So the 387-2 or 387/2, depending on how you see it. October and... Nah, let's go cloudy. We haven't done any with rain, have we? Let's do rain on this one. Why not? A little bit of wind. And you can do this run with either of them, apparently. But we're going to run with the red one. And we're going to run 1D24. So I'll just back out of there. If you look at these services, they're all around 54 to 56 to go from end to end. But some of them are quite long, like this one. And we're going to find out why. So 1D24. I usually play the services before I stream them, but we've got that thing, is it brave or stupid again? Michael will be generous and tell me I'm brave. It's interesting they have the landmarks in that screenshot, but they're not actually visible from the game. Okay, 387GX, we're starting at London, Victoria, 356.6 tonnes and 8 cars. Alright, start our setup.
Okay.
And let's get the doors open. Go and turn on some safety systems. Yeah, this one's different. One of these switches is the one you want. There it is. Yeah, this one talks. So we've got a little while before we go, so why don't we, even though we've enabled the train, you can actually close these doors off. So if you open this one and close this one, you end up in this ridiculously little tiny compartment. So close that, and then that one. It makes you wonder how you even fit in here, doesn't it? Oh, it forces that open when you sit down. Okay. Let's go look at our passengers, because we've got 50 seconds. G'day, how you going? Going to the airport? Travelling overseas? Guess you might be now. Europe's kind of open. Australia's still shut. We've still got a great big sign that says F off, we're full. So that's the kind of seat I'd sit in. Because no one else can sit next to you. No one annoying can come in and go, "Hi, I just want to talk to you while we're going to the airport." And I go, "No." I wonder what the P seats are for. Pensioners, maybe? What does that sign say? Priority. Okay. Babies, people with canes, slain dogs, and pregnant people. Fair enough. Oh, we better get back into the cab. Lock our doors. We should probably close this door. And we didn't do the lights, did we? So night running on the headlights, and away we go. And I do like it's not raining in the station. So many stations it rains inside the station. But they've got this one. This one's right.
24 hours a day.
Still pretty busy. 8 o'clock in the morning. But it's winter time. But outside snow season. Now, what's in our task list then? Why did that do that? Strange. Let's just power off because we're only allowed to do 20 through here. Now, what's in our task list that's going to make this take so long? Let's put the wipers on first. You going to work, wiper? Go on. Yes. Oh, so quiet. The wipers are so quiet. Love it. That's the way they should be. But let's look in our task list. Why is this such a long one? Yeah, we're going to some sidings. That must be a fair way from where we're stopping, because that's a long way, isn't it? Or we become incredibly low priority traffic, one or the other. It's definitely uphill through here. We have Battersea Power Station again with all the cranes. I think it looks nicer at night time. Imagine when that thing was operational. I think it was running right up until the late 90s. Just belching out smoke into the city. Would have been quite unattractive. We're now in the red train, so the Gatwick Express. Which does have, but does not use pantographs. You can run this on other AC powered routes. I haven't found anywhere that it substitutes into. So certainly a busy landscape it lives in. Oops. Inside the train. All those nice little chimes you're hearing are for the green signals. Ladies and gentlemen, your driver's too busy ralphaning another train to drive yours. We apologise for the inconvenience and the danger that you may be now facing. Almost left that too late to get back to my train then. I had to control zero it. Becoming a little bit slow too. Let's speed up. That's what happens when you leave your train. Hopefully you guys are hearing the game sound high enough. I've got it turned down a little bit for me so I don't yell at you.
Oh, game sounds are good.
Excellent. Now I played back some of my older streams and I realised, particularly when I'm using these headphones rather than my white ones, which have gone off to be fixed unfortunately, I would often yell, which doesn't sound very good. Lots of busy junctions. There's not too many routes in TSW where you catch up with and pass other trains, except maybe the high-speed ones, the German ones. I did some Googling, and apparently the noise we hear, that rattling noise, try and get down there, is these doors on the front. That's what you hear rattling. Why can't I stay down low? Get a nice shot. There we go. Sorry for the people on that station, because neither of the trains stopped. It's always a bit sad when you're on an intermediate station. You've got to wait for an intermediate train or a local. I found that on my last New York trip. Every time I wanted to go somewhere, I ended up on the platform at just about the time that 5 expresses would go through. So even though there's a train every couple of minutes there, you end up waiting 30 minutes anyway.
Just a bit sad that cab sway isn't really predominant.
Yeah, you don't really feel it. The other thing I notice is that the train gets on quite a lean in corners, but you don't really feel that in the cab. And I would have thought you would. Get behind the yellow line. It's funny how they seem to react to getting honked at. Still trying to learn the route, so the speed drops come up by surprise still quite a bit. And we have a yellow there. The double yellow, if I remember rightly, warns you that the next one's yellow. And indeed it is. And the single yellow means the next one's red. Don't know why I didn't have an acknowledgement needed for that. But it stopped me, you notice that? There was no chime, was there? Sigh. Don't know if it'll let me drive or not. I think... Oh no, the brake demand light's not on, so it might. No, it's not going to. It's going to make me wait the 2 minutes. Or is there another? No, there's nothing. No other light up there. I don't remember that beeping. I'll have to go back and have a look at that. I don't think pressing the override now works. I think I had to do it before. Yep. So we'll just sit here and look around. Since we're going to be here for 2 minutes anyway. Oh, train coming. Where is it? There it is.
It didn't beep.
Yeah, maybe that's a bug. I'll go back and look at the video, and if it is, I will put in a ticket. I have to say, Dovetail have stepped up their game a little bit on the support front. I have had some of the usual story, but I've also had some genuine help, which has been quite pleasing. It'd be funny if we're blocking this guy from leaving and I'm sitting here waiting for him to leave, since I have to wait 2 minutes anyway for my train to move. I love the ones that face away from the train. At least you're having a conversation, but not looking at each other. Ah, shiny shirt man. Good to see. This is how you spend 2 minutes. Yeah, something's just occurred to me. There's no old people in this game. I knew there was no kids. It's a childless world. It's going to die out. That's probably a good name for a fragrance. Bleh. Okay, can we drive yet? Looks like it. Yep. Excellent. Off we go. What I looked at, if you're wondering, when I came back and said, can we drive yet? Before, the brake cylinders were sitting on about 4 bar, and when we came back they were down to 1, which means they had actually released and were just sitting on the brake that I'd set. Or released a little bit's probably a better description. Is that my signal? It's red? No, mine's green. That's fine. I was a bit worried for a moment there. But we sat there for so long, whatever was blocking us and giving us a yellow signal has buggered off. It's always a bit jarring when that happens. "15 miles to the airport." I think we're still in a 45 area here. I could turn on the HUD and cheat, but that ruins all the fun. I find I don't mind running long express services on this route. 90 sign coming up here. I find I don't mind running along expresses because there's still plenty to do. There's lots of signals, there's lots to look at, there's heaps of other trains. It's not like jumping in the TGV, for example, and just going fast and not seeing anything for your entire run. Speeding up because the back of the train should be past that 90 sign by now. Actually, Michael, I have to ask if you noticed the barge traffic on the rivers in Dresden.
No, not yet.
You have to sit still for a fair amount of time to see it, but it's definitely there. It's interesting at both my 3 and 2 keys. Oops, we're going to hit a wall. Ow. Both my 3 and 2 keys are at this end of the train. Okay. That's all right. Oops, vigilance. That's going to stop me. Can I push the button? No. The vigilance doesn't sound when you're outside. That'll teach me. Sigh. I guess we'll go look around again then. There's a branch line here. Let's shoot off down the branch line. Where does this go? It's a strange little station, isn't it? And I can't go much further, I don't think.
One ticket.
Oh, there's lots of trains that you can't hear the vigilance outside. Or cars stop. And I was definitely stuck on that. Yeah, countryside's a little more sparse here. So there probably isn't much of that branch line because you can't go far. No, there's not. It's just this little loop here. Well, there's a train going to be on it though. Come on, let me out of the map. No, not there. You should see a train come around this corner shortly. No, don't force me over there. I want to watch. If this is what I was looking at on the map anyway. Here it comes. See, at least on this route, when the safety systems stop you and you're forced to sit there, you can amuse yourself. You don't just sit there in the cab staring out the window going, oh, shit, damn it. It's a long train for a very little platform. And then the people fall on the ground, but no one does. I'm sad. Oh well. No, we still can't drive because our bar pressure is up rather high. Haven't quite reached the 2 minutes yet. Must be soon though. It'd be nice if they implemented the making you contact a signaller. That would be good. Because actually this one hasn't got the sticker. But the other ones have a sticker on them that tells you have to do that. He's just sitting in there. Is he moving? It's hard to tell. Yep, here it comes. He's going to beat us to Gatwick at this rate, even though we're in express. Can we drive yet? Yes. Okay, off we go. Yep, wheel slip. Too much, too much, too much. All the other drivers will be going, what's that wanker doing over there? It's always him. It's always stopped. I think we're in a 90 zone, so we can pile the speed back on. Here's a convenient sign. 90 indeed. Oh, at least we got moving again before the guy in our own line saw us. Imagine seeing him later in the lunchroom. You'd never hear the end of it. Saw you were stopped out there on the line again, mate. Stuck in section, were you? Not paying attention, were you? You can certainly tell the places in the world that don't tend to get many earthquakes with a big brick wall connected to a steel bridge. I found something I don't know how to do since the 4.26 core update too. I don't know how to change your avatar anymore. I used to just change randomly from person to person, but I felt like doing it the other day and I couldn't figure out how. The only advice I found on the forums anywhere for how to do it said log out of Dovetail Live and then you can do it. But when I went to log out of Dovetail Live, it said that it will delete all of your achievements. It's like, oh, that's not good. I don't want to do that. That's just not exciting.
I meant to look last night and forgot.
No, I assume there's a way to do it. I've just changed it and I can't find it. Yeah, night running or day running? Day. So this is what the cab should look like. So you remember the last cab was quite bright? Because the lighting's a bit NQR. This one's what it should be. Eight miles to the airport. There'll be nervous people sitting in there going, oh, I'm going to miss my plane. All because he sat there for 2 minutes twice. I could run it up to 100 and catch up time, but I think the safety systems will attack me if I do that. Now, just for your personal amusement, this train on Cathcart Circle with the pantographs up will complete the circle in 28 minutes at 110. Just thought I'd say that. Certainly a different landscape now. I'm starting to hear planes. We're getting close enough. It's nice to see all the line sides, the signalling infrastructure everywhere. "4 miles out, we should start to see planes soon. I don't know if people have played the route, but you do actually get to see flying planes, which is pretty cool. DTG used to have a flight simulator, so it's not that surprising they've got someone that knows how to make planes fly. Relatively realistically.
Yeah, landing only. You don't see any takeoff.
Oh, you do, but they always take off away from the train. They all take off and turn right. And you can't get out to the runway, which is sad, because they put an invisible wall there. It would be cool to just go and sit in the middle of the runway so they land on you. I have to admit, I don't think I've seen them actually quite land either. I think they sort of fly down, they get close to the ground, they fly along the ground for a little while, and then they disappear. So they don't land or and taxi or anything like that. That would be cool. Melbourne's finally getting its own airport train line. Yellow signal coming up. Time to start slowing down a bit. It's been so many years of lobbying from people to get a train line to our airport because the only other option is buses. It's a plane. Ladies and gentlemen, Gatwick Airport Station. Time to get off and bugger off to whatever nice places you were going to that most of us can't. Some of us has day jobs driving trains who don't get to gallivant around on the travel. No TPWS for this signal. Opening the doors. Oh, it's gone green anyway. Did I not open them? Sure I opened them. There's a plane that's flying away. Go over here and we'll see them land. The airport car park. There's one that's landing, but you do see some that take a path off that way. That's where that guy came from. And there's one flying up there who's looks like he's increasing in height. So I'm guessing they're taking off from a different runway, not the one that's just here. Here comes one. wait for the mods for different airlines. I'm sure they'll come. Because I think it just says airlines. Yep. Kind of boring. You see what I mean? How they don't quite ever actually land? They just sort of skim along the surface. And then they just fade into the distance. Gone. Disappeared. And there's one taking off. So you don't see where they take off from, but it's definitely gaining height. Oh, well, time to lock the doors. "22 miles to park on a siding. That's a long way. Given there's a yard right here. That's okay. I haven't actually been past the airport yet, so we're in new territory now. You can't quite get up to them. There's another one coming in on an interesting angle. Guessing he's going to a different airport. You know, I forgot that a little over an hour ago I made a cup of tea. And it's at a predictable temperature now. In fact, I have to say it's almost the same temperature as my orange juice. When you run this in winter, another thing that I think they've picked up from the community is the trees don't have leaves, which is nice to see. Not so much for Aussies, our trees have leaves all the time, but in this area they do not. Another storage yard here by the looks of it. Certainly looks like that's what it is. Machines. Cool. So where are we map-wise? Oh, about 60% of the way. I'm going all the way to those yards at the end. On a little bit of an adventure. That's a nice bridge. It's worth a screenshot, isn't it? Oh, I do like all the stacks of sleepers and rail and stuff around the place. That's nice. Oh, and it hums. Excellent. Looks kind of like there's a light frost on the ground, doesn't it? I think I'm slightly over speed here, but that's okay. I think it's an 80 zone.
Sort of.
Welcome back, Michael. Visually in this light, this is really nice. I've done a good job with this. Seeing what this looks like at 180% screen resolution makes me wish one of my kids would upgrade their gaming computer so I can have their old 3090. Then I could run it at 200%. Nice bridge. Won't let me get farther. Nice big viaduct. I'm amazed they deadheaded train so far to park it, but I guess it's used for another service or something afterwards. Because it really is just going straight to the sidings. I mean, surely you'd make it stop at the passenger station just in case anyone wanted to ride it, instead of just taking it straight to the sidings. $90 here. Awesome. Back of the train should be past that by now. Random freight car. Yeah, I just have to. It's time to do 100. Has to be done at some point. Ah, oh, yellows. No, no, it's green. It was yellow. It went green. Hopefully I'll get it up to 100 before I get to the next signal, and that one's yellow. $99. Nearly there. 100. And yellow signal. I was thinking we probably caught up with a stopping train, but that platform was full of people, so surely they should have been on it. Another little branch line off to the left there. Where does that go? Nowhere. Red light. Oops, not emergency. Just red. In fact, you can see the other train. Look at that. Right there. Jeez, it lets you get close. I guess we'll be following him a lot. And now I know why it was so long. I'm surprised the signalling system lets you get that close to another train, but... Because if you mess that up, that's less than your stopping distance, I would have thought. It should go yellow just about now. Lovely. If you're wondering why my passengers are at rush hour levels when the passengers aren't at rush hour levels in this route, it's because I have a number in the INI that makes my passenger numbers higher. Which gets kind of interesting when you actually do get onto a rush hour passenger levels, because instead of being 5 times higher, it's 50 times higher. It's like driving into sardine cans. I haven't seen any of their little tableau passengers on this route. Ones that are just standing around with a wheelbarrow or whatever. Maybe that'll come out in a patch too. Red. What? Me worry? No. Wasn't worried at all. Downhill in the rain. Steel wheels, steel track, wooden slide. I can hear cows. Is that gone yellow or is that still red? Yellow. Just went yellow as I was looking at it.
As can I.
It didn't so much sound like cows as those little things that you tip upside down and they go. Maybe that's the only sound they had access to. It's 8:51 in the morning and it's getting dark. It looks a bit buried. Might be a little bit hard to get in and out of that little door. Gonna try and sit on about 40 mile
Just
an
need to
hour.
crouch.
Yeah. Try sitting on about 40 and see if that lets us keep moving instead of having to stop all the time. Must be a tunnel coming up, judging by the hill. It's like a castle. It's kind of cool. That's a better shot. Oh, it's a lake on the other side. Ah, don't do that. So this tunnel's going under a lake. That's interesting. That signal was green, wasn't it? Mower power. Probably don't need the wiper in a long tunnel. facetious horn usage. I'm gonna have to find this tunnel on maps. I want to see if it really does go under a lake. Do that at the end of the run. Better pay attention to what the next station is. It's a very tall road. Not sure if it's making dinner time at Michael's or if he's opening a beer. One or the other. Maybe both.
Nope. Feeding the cat.
Ah, none of the above. We're dropping down to 75 soon. Start slowing down. It's nice when you get a warning. Geez, they don't give you much time to react. Made it. But he just. Yellow. Double yellow, so the next one should be yellow. And it is. Which should mean the next one's red. And it is. No, it's yellow then red. No, it is red. It's be one of those situations as a driver you desperately try not to stop, so people don't try and get into your train. Actually, that looks like it's got a shunting signal on the bottom of it, doesn't it? White lights. If that's white lights actually on the signal post. So we'll crawl down and take a look. It is a shunting signal. There's a view. So we're allowed through that. Looks like we are crossing to the other line now. We're probably holding up that guy. Some catch points. You don't see a lot of catch points modelled in the game. There's some on Sandpatch. I think some of the German routes have got some. That looks normal, doesn't it? We come in and stable this train just as another one leaves. You could have just stopped this one in the station and taken over. Another little shunting signal up here on the left. He must have been following me. I was thinking we're going to end up in the sheds, but we're not. We're going to end up outside the sheds. That's the game going, it's your own fault for making it rain. Turning right here. And right again. We are going to end up in a shed. Look at that. That train's got its doors open. You notice that? They snapped shut as we passed it. Says he braking to an emergency because he wasn't watching, because he was watching doors. Wait until 9:09. Really? What's going to happen now? That's what we're supposed to get here. There's nothing else happens after that. We're just early. Well, okay. But that's alright, because I wanted to... I don't have one open, do I? Okay. I'll open a new one. Because I wanted to go find out if that tunnel was under a lake. So I will. I don't think that's where we are. Let's bring that over here. I think we're actually down here somewhere. There certainly are some mountains, which would explain why there was a long tunnel. But I don't see water. That's probably our train line there. Don't even remember seeing a road. It's probably because we haven't got down that far yet. Was that what that last station was? The Hassocks? Come on, let me steer. There we go. So why is it chiming at 9:05? You're late, bell chime person. Preston Park. Okay. Preston Park Station. I can't type. Preston Park train station. That would be it.
Because it doesn't know how to tell time.
Hmm. Turn on some layers. That's where the tunnel is. No, it's certainly not a lake. Well, it's got an interesting structure on it. I guess that's an air hole for the station tunnel. So, no lake under that one. Let's just zoom out a bit. There's the other tunnel.
Leave your luggage unattended on the station. Luggage left unattended may be removed without
No lake there.
or destroyed or damaged by the security service.
But that's our castle, isn't it, down there? So it looked like there was water over here, but it doesn't look like there really is. Is there a street view picture of this? No, maybe there. Well, that's definitely our little castle tunnel. I guess that's the kind of thing that would only get made on a private railway. Someone decides, I want to have a castle. Fair enough, then. Can still hear planes. This is their current generation of PIS. No trains due for a little while on that side. And nothing coming up there. Nothing for a while there either. Better go back to our train. Wonder how close we are to Brighton. Let's go down the other part of the line. Looks like another little branch line over here. Disappears off into a tunnel, and that's as far as we can go because it goes nowhere. Did we even get close to the sea? No, we did. That must be Brighton Station. You know what? I have to try. Oops. I know at some point it's going to make me come and shut down that train to end the thing, but I have to know. Can you get in the Gronk? Ah, invisible wall. Ah, got it. Now I'm going to have to come down here on foot, aren't I? Because I can't not answer that question. We need to know, can you drive the Gronk? Is that the biggest seagull ever? Hey, look, they actually they flap their wings. That is massive. It's enormous. Come on, target practice. We need a gun. Shouldn't say that. People will attack me. It's mean. Can't shoot seagulls. Ooh, you can open it. You can get in. No active service. Yes, of course I do. Master switch. Start. It runs. On. Huh, it's even rail driver controllable. They can't go far that way because there's a buffer. And I'll bet you there'll be signals that way, but let's see how far we get before it goes, you went through a red signal. Driving the Gronk. Because you have to. So that's definitely a red signal. No response from the signaller, so we're not going to get far. Signaler's probably going, what's that wanker doing? I wonder if its handbrake's on. Jeez. No wonder it doesn't accelerate well. Alright, back the other way then. Because we can. Ah, it accelerates better. Did I stall it or something? There we go. Can it brake well enough? Or is it going into the buffers? Bonk. Ah well, since we're here, let's go and look at Brighton Station, because we need to. So there's a platform all the way around here. Does that go anywhere? Probably just ends up here, I'm guessing. Yep. Typical police car. Another massive seagull. It just disappeared. Ooh, you can get through the garriers. Did I just find a way to escape the world? I think I did. Excellent. This is a Free Willy moment, heading for the sea. Is there actually sea? Or is there just an unmodelled expanse of green? It didn't make a beach. There's no beach. Done the landscape of a beach, but no actual water. I wonder if they made Brighton Pier. We have to go find out, don't we? I think it would be up this way somewhere. It looks like a no. No. Oh well. Our brief escape is over.
Sure, why not?
How did I end up in a building? Where was the station? Back here somewhere. Tennis courts? They go to all the trouble of modelling this stuff, and you wouldn't even know if we hadn't found a way to escape the world. Isn't that funny? We pay for that with our frame rate. Nice church. Nicely done. Certainly an interesting city. Very large. I'm stuck. I can't get up high enough to get round things. Now I'm stuck behind the invisible wall that's supposed to keep me in the station. Well, okay. Well, that's about it for today's stream anyway, because we have come up to time. So, I see a few extra people just joined in. Ah, Gareth, hello. Welcome along. Yes, the Gronk is quite good on the 100 yards, so you can drive it up. It's kind of fun. So, I'm stuck outside the station now behind an invisible wall because I got out of the world. But in fact, I think ooh, that means the Gronk's moving, doesn't it? Let's just make sure its brakes are on. Good. Because I don't want to run through a red signal right now. But anyway, welcome to Brighton. So it's time to finish the stream, kind of sadly, for the people who just joined in. Does that mean I should start this stream a little later on in the day so other people can join in from around the world? That's an interesting question. Or does it mean that I should just keep on streaming and annoy my family? Also an interesting question. But anyway, the little Gronk is cool. You can move it back and forwards 100 yards. Be really nice if we were allowed to drive it properly. But that's all good. So I'm going to get on with my Sunday, and I have some chores that I've been given a list. So that's normal, isn't it? That's how the world works. So enjoy yourselves, and if you think that starting a little bit later would be better for the people who have just joined in, let me know, because I could certainly entertain starting later or running later or whatever, just as long as I let my family know so they know to be quiet, because they're nice. And yeah, overall, route's good. Doesn't seem to have too many issues. It's enjoyable, drivable, playable. It's got all those good things. It's got an enormous amount of traffic, although I noticed sitting up here we've seen nothing for a while, which is a bit weird actually. But all good. So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back next week. I'll probably look at... Well, I haven't quite decided whether I'm going to buy the 1938 stock. I really love the way it looks. Not so sold on the sound, but if I buy it, we'll look at that and we'll look at the Meissen branch. And we might do a little bit more of this one too, because face it, the Meissen branch is 3 stations. It's not going to take much of a stream to look at that. So we'll see how that all goes, how that all works out. So enjoy yourselves, have a great week, and perhaps we'll see you next week as well. Thank you very much. I welcome any and all feedback. Feel free to comment on the video. Constructive criticism is welcome, especially if I've got something wrong. I stream every Sunday morning starting at 8:30 AM, and I also do ad hoc streams from time to time during the week. Please subscribe and click notify to avoid missing out. Subscribing helps me by helping me see what content is good and how it helps the channel grow, or doesn't, as the case may be.